Hey everyone, it's Sierra, Onyx's daughter. Today's video, we're going to have Dr. Karen Khan teaching us about LifeWave X39 patches. So make sure to like today's video and subscribe to my mom's channel if you haven't, and enjoy what she's got to say.
The really great thing about LifeWave's X39 right now is like I find that, and I teach my team, this is like the foundational patch that pretty much helps everyone. Now, we can't make a claim that it's going to help everyone in a way that they will feel that it helps them. But as a light medicine doctor and a medical doctor, I've seen in my practice prior to me retiring that when I would check in and tune in to people's bodies, and I can do this intuitively, I actually ask the body, if any of the patches would be helpful, and then, which ones. And really interesting that since the X39 came on board, it was a yes for X39 for everyone that I tested, and continues to be after hundreds and hundreds of these intuitive tests. The Eon was my best favorite, if you will, before the X39. But it makes sense that the X39 would be helpful because it's really helping your body repair itself, right? Getting those stem cells going. And here's a couple of tips I want to share with you about that. When people are starting as a customer or distributor with LifeWave, I always love to have them start with X39. And in my experience, this is my personal experience, that about 80% of people with pain as their main symptom, about 80% of people will have a pretty dramatic response to pain relief with the X39. The other 20%, and I was in that 20% actually, that the X39 didn't give us that immediate pain relief. And so in those cases, we use IceWave, which is the patches that we use that are for pain or pain relief. So just keep in mind that about 80% of people with pain will respond very favorably and quickly to the X39. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that it's not working. And here's the thing. The body has its own wisdom and will know like which system and where to heal first. It's not something that we necessarily have conscious control over. So for example, because I can do intuitive testing, I've actually checked some of my clients and patients in the past who, for example, somebody with knee pain, okay? And they say, well, I'm using X39, I don't notice a difference. And I said, okay, well, let's tune into your body and let's ask what's going on. And what's very interesting is that there's 3 systems in the body that the stem cells really like to go to first to repair. The first, not in any particular order, sometimes it's different order, but the top 3 that I've tested over many, many people is the nervous system, the digestive system, interestingly, and the immune system. And I have to say the immune system is usually the number 1. So, for example, and this is just hypothetical, if somebody has an immune system issue that's like emergency, the body is going to repair the immune system before it goes to get rid of that knee pain. So, and it doesn't mean that it can't do both at once, but what I've noticed in some people that didn't have results that they noticed quickly with X39 was that there were other systems that needed to be repaired first. Why the digestive system? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I believe because 70 to 80% of our immune system cells are actually in the digestive system. It's one of our barriers to, the outside, infections and pathogens and things like that. I think that's why it's pretty important. So the immune system, digestive system, and the nervous system. Now, the brain balancing protocol, which is with the Eon patches, which is very, very popular, where you put the Eon patch somewhere near the head. So here, 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 what happens is that it's so close to the head, it actually helps the autonomic nervous system, fancy name, sorry, but that part of the nervous system that is either stress, fight or flight or relaxation, get that balance really fast, sometimes faster than some of the other points that are in the brochure. And I won't tell you the story related to how I figured that out. That's time for another story. But the really cool thing is that if you can get that nervous system back in place, the X39 actually loves to help heal the nervous system. So I really love starting with X39, even for just, some people are like, oh, can I try this patch? Can I try that patch? Oftentimes I'll say, hey, X39 first for the first couple of days, and then we'll see where your symptoms are. And then we go ahead and, add other patches depending on if they even need it. Because a lot of people, and David has said this in the past as well, that some of the other patches may be displaced in terms of, us marketing it because X39 does so much. In fact, there's an X39 user experience chart that I have, and that's actually in my patch training team Facebook group. I didn't think about pulling that up just now, but basically, let's see if I can. I'm not going to share my screen just yet, but I can pull this up really quickly so you can see what this chart looks like. And it's a freebie download on the Facebook group. So it basically, I got together with some of the other former LifeWave trainers, and I said, okay, tell me your experience with the different patches. And so we can share this in a chart, because I had one person who was like, I'm confused. Can't you just, tell me what all the patches do? And I said, well, you could read about them, like online. She goes, well, I'm not really techie. So I decided, okay, how do I share this like really quickly? And I have David's permission to share this, and Emily knows this chart as well. So hopefully you're seeing my screen. So the LifeWave user and clinician experiences chart. This is now this is not everything. Okay, this is not every single symptom under the sun, because I only had 8.5 by 11 page. But what I often share with my distributors is that, hey, you know what? X39 actually helps with a lot of different systems in a lot of different ways. So the green check marks here are what are science-backed, and the yellow check marks are what us clinicians and other people have experienced. So I want to thank Dr. Coale and Dr. Dennis to help me out with this. And we just, sent it off to David to get his approval before we could share it publicly. So as you can see, the X39 does a heck of a lot of things, and there's overlap between the patches. So sometimes you may not need some of the other patches because the X39 does the job. Okay, so I wanted to share that, and like I said, or Emily said earlier, I do have a Facebook group where we just help each other out, and with patching questions, things like that. It's called the Patch Training Team Support Group, LifeWave Support Group. So you can always ask to join that. There are some qualifying questions, of course, like not advertising other products and things like that. But this is just free on the file, so you can download that for yourself there. So the next thing I want to do is share with you, like, how do you share like your experience with X39? Because like I said before, not a big fan of salesy marketing. Woo, you got to get this. This is the greatest thing known to man. Doing the, what's my pet peeve? Anyone can do this. And I know you've probably heard this before, okay? But just personal pet peeve, people that say, well, anybody can do this business. I'm like, okay, if anybody can do this business, why is there a 95% attrition rate? Like, why do 95% of people leave? I'm not talking about LifeWave. I'm just talking about direct sales. Because it's simple, but not easy, if you know what I mean. So I thought, you know what, I just can't do it that salesy way. And so I learned with one of the trainers that LifeWave used to have, Kim Claver. I actually have been using her technique for quite a while and kind of morphed it into, what works with LifeWave and my team, and that's how I teach them. So I'm going to share a little bit about how I do that, and then you can see whether or not this technique resonates with you, the strategy resonates with you. If not, that's perfectly fine. You do what works for you. I'm just going to share with you what works for me as a clinician, but also as someone that is not into sales hype. Okay, because we're just looking for the right resonance, the right person. We are not necessarily looking for everyone to join LifeWave, because it's not appropriate. And I want to be clear about that. It isn't for everyone. So I'm going to give you kind of like the overview of how we, at least in my team, we do the team training. We call it the E's. So enroll. Step one, of course, enroll into LifeWave as a distributor. Step two is experiencing the patches for yourself. Step three is exploring your back office, exploring more information about the patches, exploring what other people's experiences are, etc. Then engaging, sorry, I went that a little fast there. Engaging is engaging with your story. So we're going to talk about today. and then educating yourself and others, and then empowering them to do what you do, okay? So today we're gonna work a little bit on experience and engage. So we talked a little bit about, personal experience of the X39, but I'll give you a little bit more now. So experiencing the patches, 3 steps to that. First of all, you don't want to do what I did, which was not actually knowing that there was a health tracker. Well, actually, before I started the X39, there wasn't a health tracker, but now there is. You want to download the health tracker. Okay, this is in your back office. This is great because it gives you an idea of what to look for. I didn't know till 3 months after I started the X39 that my eye droop was getting better. I didn't realize some of the benefits because I wasn't tracking them, like my scar tissue getting thinner. I used to have keloid scars. Now they're flat and flexible. It's really awesome. So it's really great. Download the health tracker, then document your progress. Look at the health tracker and document, over 2 weeks, 30 days, 90 days, that kind of thing. And then the third D is decide. Decide on a story or testimonial, and I'll show you how we share that. So the E, engage, is engaging with your story. So the way that Kim Claver taught us, and then I've morphed into, what I teach my team now, is we definitely want it to be short, because you don't want to verbally vomit on your potential customers and distributors, which I used to do. But I was a healthcare provider, right? So people actually sat there and listened to me. But if you're like, oh, this is so great, it's like this nanotechnology stuff, and it does this, and your meridians get fast, and right? Like 30 minutes later, and they're like, okay, sure, I'll try it, right? I mean, the only reason they tried is because of my enthusiasm, really. But I just vomited all over them. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to limit your stories for 45 seconds or less, then you want to set the scene. So setting the scene means in your story, have visuals in there that make people remember things. Like one of my distributors used to say, she always was scared that she'd end up in a wheelchair. And so she had this vision of this wheelchair, over and over and over again. But then when she got better with the patches, she was literally bounding up the stairs. So you could see the wheelchair in your mind, right? You could see the bounding up the stairs. So you want to set the scene. And then you want to share your story with emotion, because nobody likes people talking like this that have no life force. It's very boring to listen to. I know that's not your guys' problem, right? Everyone is so excited about, LifeWave. It's not your problem, but just saying, just in case. Okay? Emily's really good at this. Emily's really good at expressing her vibrancy, and it's awesome. And the last S is send. Basically, instead of asking directly for the sale, you're actually asking them to send you a referral, and this decreases your chances of feeling rejected, which I was very sensitive to before, not so much now. But so here's the book by Kim Claver that is basing on her what's called the 3 Scripts course. And I highly recommend it. It used to be one of the things we trained. Really, really great for customer acquisition, actually. So I'm going to share with you some examples. It's a little bit morphed from what she teaches, but I highly recommend you check it out anyway to see if it resonates with you, her training. So we start with our script, our 45-second script. We start with an introduction where we introduce the problem that we either have or currently have or have had, obviously one that is better with the patches, right? Then we tell our before and after story. Now the before, we need to set the scene. So we really need visual cues in here. Because if you go, well, I had pain and now it's better. It's like, okay, boring, right? But if you say that oh my gosh, I used to can't get up on the couch and I'd have to rock 2-3 times and then finally I'd get up and then I'd have to hold on something, right? That's a visual. People can see that, right, in their minds. So you need to set that scene. And then you can also tell people what you used to try that didn't work. Okay, that's optional. You don't have to do it that way. I'll give you an example, so don't worry. And then after, what were your improvements? And your improvements need to match your before, right? So if you say, oh, before I was crawling up the stairs and afterwards I had great skin, and you're like, I don't get it, right? So you need the before and after to match, at least to some degree. And then if you wish to, especially if you're doing the business, right, then you actually need to tell people you're in business. And there's a way of telling them that isn't salesy. So I'll show you Kim's way of doing that. And then the last one is ask for a referral. This was brilliant. This completely changed my marketing so much. And I was no longer scared and feeling rejected, marketing, because I was just asking for a referral. I wasn't asking the person to buy anything. They felt comfortable, less stress on them. Okay, so here's one. I've timed this one as 42 seconds. Again, ideally under 45. So if somebody asks, friend of yours, whatever, this is just an example. So what's new with you? You can say, hey, something super interesting, actually. You know, some women have zits and bad skin even though they're not a teenager anymore. Well, that was me. Before using this new product, my face felt like craters on the moon. See the visual there? With lots of bumpy zits and my arms and legs too. My ex-husband used to call me the sandpaper girl. Again, another visual, right? So I tried all sorts of creams and supplements, but nothing seemed to work. Then I got introduced to a new product that helped me detoxify my body. Within 3 weeks, I noticed my skin softer, smoother, and suppler. And within 3 months, all the bumps were gone. Now I have the best skin ever, smoother than a baby's bottom. Again, visual. So I love this product so much, I became a distributor so I can share it with others. And that's what I'm doing part-time. So here I'm just right above board saying I'm selling, right? So it's not a big surprise to someone when they go, oh, well, where do I get it? And you go, oh, you can buy it from me. And they go, oh, sure. I wonder if your testimonial is even real, So you're saying right above board, hey, I love this and I'm doing this part-time. And then you ask for the referral. Do you know anyone who might like to know about this product or like to know about a product like that? This is the exact line from Kim Klaver's book, okay? And she has tested this with different versions of this, and this one works the best. This one actually, scientifically, in her studies, works the best. Don't change it. Don't go, who do you know that might like to know about a product like that? That immediately puts pressure on people. I know it's a yes, no answer. And I know some of you are like, oh, I'm not supposed to do like closed, you know what? All I can tell you is that it works. It works. Let me give you another example. Now, this is actually a true example from my life, okay? In Kim Klaver first date script, version. So here's another one. This is more recent. This is an X39 example. So this is maybe somebody that says, hey, what's new with you? What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, right? And I go, and if I decide that I want to market X39, I might go, oh my God, did you hear about the time I hit my head on the ice 2 days before my skating competition? And usually they go, no, I haven't, right? They're like totally intrigued. So then you tell the story. Well, I have a history of concussions, which is true. So last October, 2 days before my international skating competition, I was training ice dance with my husband. I skated one way, he skated another, and I fell. And my head sounded like a bowling ball hitting the ice. Everyone rushed to me and was checking to see if I was still alive. Lucky for me, I had a wearable stem cell enhancing patch on the back of my neck. The next day, although my neck muscles were a little bit stiff, there was no bump on my head, no headache, no nausea, no concussion symptoms. In fact, I skated so well, I won 3 medals that week, and this patch really helped me recover quickly. Phew. And then I didn't even, bother putting the referral line, but I put it here for you in case you wanted it. So do you know any athletes who might like to know about a product like that? So that was about, without my interjections, about 44 seconds. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how you can share your story that is very interesting, but not vomit on them with 30 minutes of blah, 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 blah. How great is this? And you should try it. And oh my God, you got arthritis. This is the best thing for that pain. And you don't want to be salesy. You just want to tell your story and then move on. And they go, whoa, wait. Tell me more about the product. That's your opening. And then there's other scripts for that. But what you don't want to do is just sit there and just inundate someone with tons and tons of information that they didn't ask for. You tell your story, then you change the subject. And that usually is really great because they go, well, wait, what's the product, right? Okay, so the benefits of sharing the X39 story this way: low pressure, not salesy, less rejection, more relaxation, and you're looking for the right match. Now, if you know somebody, that you're sitting across who is, I don't know, has knee pain, for example, then you might have a story related to pain that you share with that particular person. Again, you're not asking them directly, you're asking if they know anyone who might like to know about product. They might say, yes, I do, me, which is ideal. They might say, yes, my Uncle Jim. And they might say, nope. And if they say no, then they're not a match. And if they say no, you go, well, in case you know anyone like that, would you send them my way? And they might go, yeah, sure, right? They're a friend of yours anyway. So, and you know, your pictures stay, you know, sticks in their mind, like that, my head hitting the ice like a bowling ball. You know exactly what that sounds like if you've ever played bowling, right? So, all right, so I'm going to stop sharing here.